Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's your man James, aka JP, back again with another Arcade1Up video, and today we're going to do a little bit of a different video. It's actually a video I've been wanting to make for quite a while, and I'm finally getting around to it. Before we get started, I am kind of recovering from a cold, as you might be able to hear in my voice, so apologies if my voice sounds a little weird. It is what it is. So today we're going to be ranking all of the Arcade1Up cabinets. Now, in this specific tier maker that I found, it's just the standard cabinets, like the ones you see behind me. It's not the countercades, it's not the head-to-heads, or any of the other variants. It's just strictly the standard Arcade1Up cabinets. And a couple factors are going to play into this as far as just the judging for me personally, for my personal list. It's going to come down to a few things. Obviously, it's going to have to include the games, right? Obviously, that's going to be a big part of it, is all the games that are included in each cabinet. But it's also going to come down to a few other things as well that might put some cabinets over other cabinets. Just visually, how the cabinet looks, how it appeals to me, the design of the cabinet. Not only visually, but also just physically, the design of the cabinet. Because some of these cabinets, especially like these Gen 1 ones behind me, they're not built as good as some of the future cabinets down the line from Gen like 2 and 3 and 4 and on. So that's also going to have a big factor into it. And also exclusivity. If these are cabinets that are super limited edition that the general public probably doesn't have their hands on, that's also going to just factor into where it goes on the list. And with all those caveats out of the way, I think that's pretty much it. So I'm going to have my laptop right here, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into ranking all the Arcade1Up cabinets. Alright, you guys, so here we are, and we're going to start right off the bat with, ironically, my first Arcade1Up cabinet ever, and that's going to be the Street Fighter cabinet that you see right there behind me. Still one of my favorite video games of all time, as you can see by the Street Fighter shirt that I'm wearing. Street Fighter 2, it's really tough where I'm going to put this one, because automatically I want to put it in the S category as the best top tier, because it is one of those Gen 1 cabinets that didn't have the best controls or the best quality or the best screens or anything like that. It's tough for me to put it there, so I think I'm going to put it in the A category, because at the end of the day it is still Street Fighter, and I've had a ton of fun with my Street Fighter cabinet, so I think that's where it's going to go. It's going to go under the A category for right now. It may end up moving up. We'll see how this list goes along. I haven't like looked at all of these ahead of time to kind of like preconceive in my head where things are going to go, so we're just doing this on the fly. So next up we have Centipede, and I'm just going to look up some of these cabinets because I don't remember all of the games that came on them. But I know that I didn't get the original Centipede cabinet, obviously, as you can see behind me. But the games on here were Centipede, Missile Command, Crystal Castles, and Millipede. So a decent lineup of games if you're into that era of games. Now, Centipede is a really fun game. For me personally, I would probably have to put it, I would put it right there in the middle in the B category. While I do enjoy playing those games necessarily don't appeal to me specifically. Like, they're cool to play a couple times, but I'm not going to spend hours upon hours playing those games. But I did love the design of the cabinet, obviously. Just great artwork there, way better than the Street Fighter cabinet. And that actually may end up hurting the Street Fighter cabinet in the long run, because the artwork on the Street Fighter cabinet, really not good. It's just the Street Fighter logo slapped on the side, which, I mean, is how the original cabinet was, but if that's just how we're basing things here. So I'm going to put Centipede in the B category. And right after that we have Galaga, and I think it was Galaxian was the other game. It's hard to see the font on some of these because they're so small in the picture on the tier maker, so that's why I'm Googling the pictures here. Yeah, it was Galaga and Galaxian. So this is a tough one. If you're a really big fan of Galaga, obviously, you know, this cabinet deserves to be higher up. But for me, I think I'm actually going to put this one in the D category. And that's only, yeah, I'm going to keep it in the D category. I think this, if I'm not mistaken, this was a Walmart exclusive cabinet, or I believe it was exclusive somewhere. And it only came with 2 games on there, and that was Galaga and Galaxian, which are pretty similar games. So you're really not getting that much variety. And the design of the cabinet was cool and everything, but I don't know, with it only having 2 games, with it being one of the original Gen 1 cabinets, it's hard for me to put it really any higher than D, to be honest with you. And again, it's one of those things where I enjoy playing Galaga, but I'm not the biggest Galaga fan. So if I was a bigger Galaga fan, it maybe would go up into the C category, but this is going to go into the D category. And I am going to be ranking these like individually within their own categories. So you'll see here, the next one is going to be Pac-Man. And this is the original Pac-Man cabinet, and this one is actually going to go in the D list as well, but it's going to go all the way at the bottom. But I would still put Galaga over Pac-Man in the D list, if you guys see what I'm talking about here. So with this Pac-Man cabinet, for me, everybody knows the original Pac-Man cabinet, the Gen 1 version of it, was not good at all. The viewing angles were terrible. The screen just was horrendous. It did not have good viewing angles whatsoever. Like, if you didn't look at it head on, or even if you did look at it head on, it was washed out. It looked white. It was like, it just didn't look right at all. So that's why that version of Pac-Man is going into the D list. Now, once we get into the other versions of Pac-Man, those will probably end up higher because they fixed and corrected a lot of the issues that those had. But the original Pac-Man cabinet, which is what this particular one is, that's going to go probably as the worst cabinet. Definitely in the D list, might be the worst cabinet, because if you guys saw that original screen, it was pretty bad. Alright, moving on to another one from Wave 1 is going to be the Rampage cabinet. Now, I think I'm going to have to put this one in the same category as Centipede. That's going to go in the B category. Would I put it above? I will put it above Centipede because the games that you get on here, if we can move it, right, there we go. So I'll put Rampage above Centipede. I feel like you get a little bit more of a variety with the games that come on here. And it's the only cabinet till this day, I think, that had, 3 joysticks where you can play with 3 people. All the other cabinets have been either 2-player or 4-player, but I think this was the only 3-player cabinet that we got. So that was pretty cool. The design of the cabinet is not that interesting. It's just a bunch of green and yellow lines along a black backdrop. But other than that, yeah, I feel comfortable putting it there. Next up, we got the one right next to me, Final Fight. And I have been saying this since the day I got Final Fight, and I'm still going to continue to say it. It is hands down the best cabinet that you can get for overall variety. And I'm not the biggest, like, Street Fighter is my favorite game of all time. And I'm still putting the Final Fight cabinet above Street Fighter, at least this version of Street Fighter. But just as an overall package, the games that you get on here, you have the side-scrolling beat 'em up with Final Fight. You have the shoot 'em up with 1944. You have the side-scrolling classic of Strider, and you have the notoriously hard, the infamously hard Ghosts and Goblins. And you just get so much variety. The games on here are tons of fun. I probably put the most hours just myself individually, just playing single player, into the Final Fight cabinet than I have any of the other cabinets that I own. That Final Fight cabinet is just so good. Moving on, we have the original Mortal Kombat cabinet. Now, I've never been the biggest Mortal Kombat fan. I've always preferred Street Fighter. I don't know, I've just never really been able to get into Mortal Kombat like that. Like, I enjoy it, but I'm not the biggest fan of it, especially the original games. But I do love the design of the cabinet. Having Raiden on the side there with the Thunderbolts and everything just looks incredible. So I will put it in the A category under Street Fighter. I'm tempted to put it over Street Fighter simply because of the design of the cabinet, but I just enjoy Street Fighter too much to be able to put Mortal Kombat above Street Fighter. Coming up next, we got Golden Tee. Now, I haven't actually played this cabinet. I did see it in person when I went to Arcade1Up store last week, but I didn't actually get around to playing it. But I know that so many people really enjoy Golden Tee, and it's a great, one of those great just traditional like bar type of arcades that you would find in your local bar or whatever, even movie theater or something like that. So I just off of the reception that I've seen the community give this cabinet, I'm gonna have to put it in the A category, but it's gonna go in the bottom of the A category just because myself personally I haven't played it, but I do obviously hope to change that once I go revisit the Arcade1Up store. I don't know, sometime in the near future, definitely. Alright, next up is going to be the Marvel Superheroes cabinet, and that is the special edition. So the one I have next to me is the standard edition, which is, it's standard, but and it comes with the blue color scheme. The special edition, which I believe was only available if you ordered it directly through Arcade1Up, that one comes with obviously a more gold theme to it instead of the blue that this one has, and it also came with upgraded Sanwa joysticks and buttons, so that was really cool. And just for that, I would have to put it in the S category. I personally myself haven't played this particular limited edition one, but because I know that this one is so good, obviously the upgraded one's going to be even better. So I'm going to have to put that in the S category, but I will put it in the bottom of the S category because I haven't personally played it. You'll find out that a lot of these I haven't played myself personally because obviously I play what I own, but I did dabble in some of them in Arcade1Up store last week. Up next we have the Star Wars cabinet. This one for me, I would have to put it in the C category. I love the design of the cabinet, but I'm not a big fan of that era of Star Wars games, that very, I forget what the exact term for it is, like pixel, it's not even really pixelated, it's like, man, the term is slipping me right now. I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments, but that style of gameplay from the Star Wars cabinet, it's just not my type of game. Now this was one of the, I think it was actually the first Arcade1Up to have different controls other than the joysticks. This brought in the yoke, which was big, obviously opened up doors for other arcade cabinets down the line. But for me, it's just average. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of the Star Wars games that come on here, but I'm a big fan of Star Wars, and I love the aesthetic of the cabinet, and it's a cabinet I wouldn't mind having on display, just being such a big Star Wars fan, so that is really good. Coming up next, we're going to have the regular Marvel Superheroes cabinet, which is the one directly next to me over here, which I love this cabinet. Such a great cabinet. You have two great fighting games and Marvel Superheroes, I forgot what was on here for a second, and X-Men Children of the Atom, but then you get the amazing side-scrolling beat-em-up of Punisher, which was surprisingly fun. Found myself really enjoying that Punisher game, so I'm going to have to put, man, I think I'll have to put the Marvel Superheroes cabinet in the A tier, only because the upgraded one is going to go in the S tier. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to go. See, the exclusivity of the limited edition Marvel Superheroes cabinet makes me kind of want to bring it down, but it wasn't super limited. Anybody could get their hands on them if they wanted to. All you had to do was order it from Arcade1Up. So it wasn't limited to the point where, you know, nobody was able to get it. Everyone who wanted to get it definitely did get it. So yeah, that's where I'm going to put that. I'm going to put the limited edition one on the S tier and the standard edition one in the A tier, right under it. Next up we have the Turtles cabinet that came with, obviously, the Ninja Turtles arcade game as well as Turtles in Time. Now, the design of the cabinet, I was never a big fan of the original design of the cabinet. I never liked that like super realistic looking artwork on the side, but the games that are on here are amazing. However, I'm not a big fan of the 4-player Arcade1Up cabinets. I just don't like the extra width of the control deck. Just me personally, just as an aesthetic thing, I don't like how it sticks out of the sides, especially when you put it next to like these standard cabinets behind me. So it's tough, but I think I'll put it above Mortal Kombat. Even though I'm not a big fan of the design of the cabinet, the games on there are classic and timeless and some of my favorite games of all time. Next up, we have the Burger Time cabinet, which I forgot what else came on here, so we're just gonna look it up if I could spell. Yes, the Burger Time, Karate Champ, Caveman Ninja, and Bad Dudes. Now, did this cabinet ever see the light of day? I know there was issues because I think it was originally supposed to be a Karate Champ cabinet, but I think the Burger Time iteration is what came out. I love the design of the cabinet. The design is amazing. Haven't played most of the games on this cabinet personally, so I have played Burger Time. I don't think I've played the others. I have played Bad Dudes, so I played those two. So the games on here are great. The cabinet design is amazing. Where would I put this one though? I think I would put it above Rampage in the B category. I think that's just where it's going to fall for me. Next up, we have the NBA Jam cabinet. I think this one was the limited edition one, if I'm not mistaken. No, so this one's the standard edition here. So, I love NBA Jam. I love basketball. My favorite sport of all time. I have so many basketball video games in my collection. So anything basketball is automatically going to win me over. But I'm not a fan of the 4-player cabinet design, like I've said before. So it's tough for me where I will put this. I mean, at the end of the day, I had so much fun playing it at Arcade1Up store the other day. So it's tough. I think for me personally, I would have to put the NBA Jam cabinet over the Turtles cabinet, but under the Street Fighter cabinet. And anything that is going to include NBA Hang Time. NBA Hang Time is so underrated. In my opinion, NBA Hang Time, I've been saying this forever, is way better than NBA Jam. And for most people, don't even realize that NBA Hang Time is a direct sequel to NBA Jam. So yeah, I'm gonna put it right under the Street Fighter cabinet. Next up, we have Frogger. The design of the cabinet was great, very unique, but I mean, it's Frogger. I don't need a Frogger cabinet. I don't know many people that actually did pick up the Frogger cabinet. I would put Frogger, I don't know, because like Frogger is such a classic game, but as an arcade game, I could live without it, you know, as a dedicated cabinet. So I would put Frogger above Star Wars, just because I would enjoy playing the Frogger arcade games more than I would the Star Wars ones. So yeah, I think I feel comfortable with that. Next up, we have the Pac-Man 40th Anniversary cabinet. Came bundled with a ton of games, but I did not like the wood grain pattern on here. I know it resembles one of the original cabinets, but I don't like the design, and there's just, to me, other better looking Pac-Man cabinets. So for me, it's tough, right? Because I really hate the design. You know what? I'm gonna put it in the D category, right above the original Pac-Man cabinet, just because this one at least upgraded the screen, the viewing angle, the speakers, all the issues that the original one had, this one fixed. But I just don't like the wood grain, and there's, like I said, other better Pac-Man cabinets that are out there, which we'll get to. Next up, we have the sitting down version of the Star Wars cabinet. I believe they had the same games on there, if I'm not mistaken. And if they're not the same games, they are like that similar style of game. So I'm going to put it above the standing cabinet just because it has the unique design, which a lot of other cabinets don't. So that's where that's going to go. What is this? I think, is that the Golden Axe cabinet? Yeah, that was the Golden Axe cabinet. Did this one ever see the light of day? It did, but I don't think a lot of people picked this one up for some reason. At least I didn't see anyone picking this one up. And this comes with Golden Axe, Alter Beast, can't see the other names, hold on. Oh, Shinobi, and what's the other? I can't make out the other name, hold on. Or Wrestle War, one of the two. Either way, I'm not familiar with that last game, but Golden Axe, Alter Beast, and Shinobi are all classic games. Some of my favorite Sega games of all time. So I definitely have to put this one up there. And the cabinet design is great. That color scheme is amazing. So this, for me, I think I will put it above the Turtles cabinet. You get 4 games on here, 3 amazing games that I know of. I'm sure that 4th game is amazing as well. Next up is the Miss Pac-Man cabinet. Ever since Arcade1Up was like first created, that's like on all my videos, everybody wanted either Donkey Kong or Miss Pac-Man, and we finally got that Miss Pac-Man cabinet, that iconic blue and pink design. I love it. I would love to have that cabinet just for the design alone. So I would put this one, I'd put it above Mortal Kombat. Yes, that's where I'm going to put it. So can't go wrong with Miss Pac-Man there. Classic game, and you had different games on here other than, you know, just straight up Pac-Man. You obviously had Miss Pac-Man, which is missing from all the other Pac-Man cabinets. So if you want Miss Pac-Man, that's the only way that you can get it. And it also came with Galaxian, Pac-Mania, and Pac-Man Plus. So yeah, great lineup of games on here for sure. Amazing design, classic. Next up, we have Big Buck Hunter, and that was, I think, the first shooting cabinet that Arcade1Up ever created. I'm gonna put this kind of tied with Golden Tee. It's, again, one of those classic, like, you know, type of arcades that you would find at your local bar or movie theater. I personally haven't played it, like the specific Arcade1Up version, but it's your traditional arcade deer hunting shooting game, so can't go wrong with that. Great design on it as well, so really cool stuff right there. Oh man, here we go. So this is the X-Men versus Street Fighter cabinet. This for me is going to have to go in the S tier. I'm going to put it as the number 1 option. Listen, anything that's Marvel versus Capcom, Street Fighter versus Marvel, Street Fighter versus Capcom, any of those X-Men versus Street Fighter cabinets or games are always going to win me over. Those are some of my favorite games. And just looking at the X-Men versus Street Fighter cabinet here, you get X-Men Children of the Atom, which already comes on the Marvel Superheroes cabinet. You have X-Men versus Street Fighter, which is an amazing game. You have Marvel vs. Capcom, another amazing game. And you have X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, which is another amazing game. So solid lineup of games, amazing design. I love that red arcade cabinet. And honestly, the only reason I don't own it is because I already own the Marvel Superheroes one that comes with Children of the Atom, which is kind of like doubling down on Children of the Atom, which I don't need. But if I had to choose, I would honestly get the X-Men vs. Street Fighter one and get rid of the Marvel Superheroes one. Marvel vs. Capcom, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, and then I still get to keep Children of the Atom. The only thing I'm losing is Punisher and Marvel Superheroes, which I can live with. So yeah, definitely classic arcade right there. And actually, that was just in the background of the latest episode of Yo MTV Raps, where they interviewed Just Blaze. So that was pretty cool to see while I was watching that show. Next up, we have the Outrun cabinet, and I played a little bit. Is this Outrun or Ridge Racer? I'm pretty sure this is Outrun, but these pictures are so small. Outrun. Yeah, Outrun. So yeah, I played a little bit of the Ridge Racer cabinet, and this is going to be the same driving mechanics that one has. The driving mechanics felt solid enough. I would put it in the B category. I would put it here because I'm not like rushing to play. I'm not rushing to play the driving games as much, but I do like that this one has the sitting down capabilities. So I'm actually going to put this one a little bit higher just because it has that sit down function. If we can move it over, there we go. Yeah, I'll put it there. I like that it has that sit down function. Looks like we have another Buck Hunter. I think one of them might be the Pro cabinet. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna put it tied with the other one. Not sure what the difference is with those two. This looks like it's going to be the Tempest cabinet here, which I'm not a huge fan of. Tempest. I forget what the games list is with this one. Alright, so this one comes with Asteroid, Centipede, Major Havoc, Missile Command, Aka R, Crystal Castles, Tempest, Millipede, Gravitar, Liberator, Asteroids Deluxe, and Space Duel. So you get quite a bit of games on here, and I do really love the design of the cabinet that's on here. While these games specifically aren't for me, anyone who enjoys this game, this is a really solid cabinet that you can get. So I would put it, I'll put it in the A list behind Miss Pac-Man. Solid lineup of games right there. That's where I'll go with that one. Alright, so we have the Pac-Man cabinet. This is going to be the 12-in-1, which is the one that I just recently picked up. Great cabinet, great amount of games on here. You get 6 different versions of Pac-Man, as well as like Galaga, Galaxian, and Dig Dug, and some other games on there as well. So solid lineup of games. I think I would put it, I'd put it above Miss Pac-Man only because of the amount of games that you actually get included. If we can, hold on. There we go. Yeah, you just get way more games included, and I love that artwork. You can't go wrong with either that Pac-Man or the Miss Pac-Man artwork. I just love the Miss Pac-Man artwork a little bit more just because it's that bright blue and bright pink, but yeah, definitely with the games that you get on the Pac-Man one, you gotta give Pac-Man the advantage. Next up, we have the Street Fighter. I think this is the Legacy cabinet. Solid lineup of games right here. I actually played this one at Arcade1Up store, and I don't know why, but it felt smaller, like thinner and way more cramped. I don't know what it was that made it feel like that, but I don't remember feeling like that playing any of the other cabinets. So it had a weird feeling on it. The design is great though, and the games that you get, I mean, you get way better games than you get on the original Street Fighter 1, plus the better screen, better speakers, online play, all that stuff. So that automatically has to give it the edge over the original Street Fighter cabinet. So that's where that's going to go there. And, ooh, would I put it over Marvel Superheroes? That's tough. I mean, I would rather play some Street Fighter over Marvel Super. I don't know. because I'll get more variety playing the Marvel superheroes ones. I get different games, whereas Street Fighter, I just get a bunch of different versions of Street Fighter. I'm gonna keep it there for now. We'll see what happens. We have the newly released Dragon's Lair, which I also saw, or at least I saw the box for at Arcade1Up store. It's not really out yet, but I do have fond memories of playing Dragon's Lair on the Game Boy Advance back in the day. I really enjoyed it, and I know a lot of people have been looking forward to this one. So I would put it right above Mortal Kombat. Yeah, sure. Because I like the unique design of the cabinet, the unique shape that it has. That's where that's going to go. Next up we have Killer Instinct. Such a great game. I was hoping that Arcade1Up had it out for demo at their store, but they didn't. But such a great game. Definitely love playing me some Killer Instinct. Wouldn't put it above Street Fighter, but I would put it I'll put it right above Turtles. Yeah. Classic fighting game, very fast paced, definitely love it. Next up we have the X-Men cabinet. Now this one, fun games on here, but I don't like the cabinet design whatsoever. The artwork is decent, but I don't like, obviously, again, that 4-player control deck I'm not a fan of. I think I would put it, it's kind of like tied with Ninja Turtles. I think you get a little bit better games on the X-Men cabinet, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I think I will put it under Turtles. Yeah, would I put Pac-Man? I'm gonna put it under the Pac-Man cabinet, right above Tempest. That's where I'm gonna put that one. The heck is this? I have no idea what this one is here. We're gonna come back to that one. I'll put that one at the bottom of the list. I have not the slightest idea what cabinet that is. Looks like we have another Marvel superheroes cabinet. Not sure why. It might have just been a duplicate. So we'll just put that with that one. Yeah, I don't know why that's there. We have another Mortal Kombat cabinet. This looks like it's going to be the maybe the Legacy Edition that's on here. Which that one is automatically going to have to go higher than the original Mortal Kombat cabinet. So actually what I'm going to do is take that original Mortal Kombat cabinet, stick it in the top of the B list. And I'm going to take the Legacy Edition of the Mortal Kombat cabinet and put it right there. Obviously, I mean, that's obvious. It has better improvements as far as the screen and everything like that. Screen, speakers, audio, visuals, all of that. But then you get better games, you get the online features and capabilities. So yeah, that's definitely where that's going to go. And then I'm actually looking at what's next is the updated Turtles cabinet, which I love that Turtles in Time artwork way more than I do this original one. So what I'm going to do is take this original Turtles cabinet. I'm also going to drop that to the top of the B list and then take, alright, sorry about that, my camera just died on me. As I was saying, the Turtles cabinet went way higher up because of the design. It went all the way up, and that older design dropped all the way down. So yeah, big factor that played into that. So next up we have the Street Fighter Big Blue cabinet. Now I'm honestly not the biggest fan of the design of this cabinet, but because you get so many good games on here, it's going to have to go above the original Street Fighter cabinet, but I wouldn't put it above this this black and yellow and red design cabinet here. Yeah, I don't like the way the Big Blue is shaped or looks. I know it's supposed to be reminiscent of how the original Big Blue cabinet looked, but I just don't like the way that it looks. So yeah, so I'm gonna put it there. At the end of the day, it is still Street Fighter, so you know, that is that. You get a ton of great games on there. Next up we have the Miss Pac-Man and the Galaga split cabinet. Now this is a really iconic cabinet, and you see in a lot of movie theaters and stuff that you would go to. It is just really a mix of the games that already come on the Miss Pac-Man cabinet. So I'll put it right under the Miss Pac-Man cabinet. It is an iconic cabinet, but doesn't really bring anything new to the table other than some included games and the design. Next up we have the Simpsons cabinet. Now I'm automatically just going to put this tied with the X-Men cabinet. I'll put it right under the X-Men cabinet though, just because I prefer playing X-Men a little bit more. But solid games on here. Again, I just don't like that 4-player design of the cabinet, but great cabinet. I did try and find one on clearance and was not able to find one, but I did end up finding that Pac-Man cabinet, so can't go wrong there. We have the standing up version of the Outrun cabinet. Gonna have to put that below the sitting down version. And then we have the Ridge Racer cabinet, which I played. It was fun. I'll put it just under the sitting Ridge Racer cabinet. I mean the sitting Outrun cabinet, but right above the standing Outrun cabinet. Next up is the Tron cabinet. A Tron, it's another one of those things with Star Wars where it's like it's got a cool design and everything like that, but the game itself on there I don't really care for. Because I am a bigger Star Wars fan than I am Tron, I'm actually going to take the Tron one and put it right down there. Next up is the Terminator 2 cabinet, another shooting cabinet. I haven't played this one yet. I haven't seen it in person or in stores yet either, but I am really excited for that shooting technology. So I'm actually going to put it, above, under all the I think I would have more fun playing Terminator than I would Pac-Man, so I'm going to put it under Killer Instinct right up here. Yeah, that's where I'm going to put it. Next up, we have the original Asteroids cabinet. Everybody knows that original Asteroids run of cabinets was not very good with the spinner that came with it, so it's going to have to go in the D category. I'll put it, I'm going to put it at the bottom only because it was kind of unplayable. There were easy fixes for it, but at least Pac-Man, the screen wasn't good, but you could still play the game. The gameplay wasn't affected. And then next up, I think that's the Asteroids cabinet, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's neither. Oh man, what? Yeah, no, it was this one. That was the, yeah, Asteroids Deluxe. Yeah, this one was a unicorn. I think this one was a Costco exclusive that was very hard to find, got pulled off the shelves for a while. Yeah, this one's gonna have to go, because you get a decent amount of games on here. I'm gonna have to put it right here. No, it's gotta go above Rampage. That's where it's gonna go. And we have the Centipede 12-in-1. Now I didn't like the design of this one with the black background. I like the white background a little bit more, but you did get a ton more games on here, some really solid games. So just because of the games, it's gonna have to go a little bit higher because you get 12 games on here. But I don't think I would put it much higher than that, just looking at everything else on here. Alright, so before we had the X-Men vs. Street Fighter cabinet, now we have the Marvel vs. Capcom cabinet, and that's gonna go all the way. Oh, hold on a second. Let me put it there and put it up here. It's gonna be tied. You can't go wrong with either cabinet. I love both. Marvel vs. Capcom, X-Men vs. Street Fighter. I believe that's the Marvel vs. Capcom one. Yeah, that's the Marvel vs. Capcom one. So, yeah, can't go wrong there. Definitely either one you go with. I don't know which one I would put above the other. Maybe Marvel vs. Capcom because it's got some better games on there. Maybe. That's really a toss-up. I don't really know. Next up, is this was a limited edition Pac-Man one. I don't know where I will put this one. All the other Pac-Man cabinets that we have here on this list are great. That I don't really need to stick another Pac-Man cabinet on here. It's not a bad cabinet, but it's just like an average cabinet. I'll put it right there. I don't really care for it too much. Next up is the Defender cabinet here, which I don't even know what's on here. I'm sure some of the same games we've gotten already. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know what's on here. It's probably like Defender, Joust, all those Midway games. I really like the design of the cabinet. I really love the way that it looks. Just not really my type of games, so I will put it. I'll put it right up here. Come on, there we go. Galaga cabinet. This is the upgraded version, so the much more improved over the original one. This is gonna have to go. This will go in the B list. Put it. I don't know. I like the Defender design a little bit more, so we'll put it right there. Oh man, so next up we have some of the more limited edition cabinets. So we have the Mortal Kombat Supreme cabinet, or Supreme cabinet. I actually really like the design of it, not because of the Supreme. I hate Supreme, but I just love the red aesthetic. Red is my favorite color, so I love everything being red, the red lightning bolts, everything like that. And I actually played this specific Supreme cabinet in a store once that was selling it, and you have the upgraded buttons and everything that feel really nice. So for that reason, I'm actually gonna put it over. I'm gonna put it right behind the 12-in-1, which the Legacy Edition. If we can get to, where's the Legacy? Oh, here we go. So I'm gonna put it right behind the Legacy one, only because the Legacy one comes with. Hold on, come on. There we go. The Legacy one comes with better games, or more games, I should say, but I really love the design of that Supreme one. Even just take out Supreme, just making everything all red. I absolutely love it. And again, you get the upgraded buttons and joysticks and everything, so you can't go wrong with that. This NBA Jam cabinet, I don't know. I don't really care for the limited edition run that they did of these, so it'll just go in the top of the B list for me. Space Invaders, can't forget about that one. Such another classic design on here. I'll put it at the bottom of the A list. We have another wood grain. This is the Miss Pac-Man cabinet. Again, I'm not a fan of the wood grain, and I don't even like this one at all compared to the other one. So that's where that's gonna go. What? Oh, this was that limited edition Pizza Hut one. I can only put this so high because this was like a sweepstake giveaway. But again, it was another Pac-Man cabinet, but man, I really love the design of this. But this was like, yeah, this was like a sweepstakes giveaway thing that, you know, not everybody has it. So I have to put it at the bottom of the C list just off the design alone, but I know that nobody can get it. And then here we have the red edition of the Big Blue, which I actually do like a little bit more. Because again, you put red on anything, I'm going to automatically like it. It was another one of those super limited edition things, so I'm going to have to I'm gonna have to put it above the NBA Jam just because it's Street Fighter, but it's so limited that yeah. So I don't know what this last one is. I don't have the slightest idea. I can't make out what it is, so I'm just going to, by default, I don't know. It looks like I would put it here maybe. I honestly don't have the slightest idea which cabinet that is. So is that everything? Yeah, that is everything. Wow, this was a really long video. Let's just kind of run through it again really quickly. So the best of the best for me, so I don't have a Street Fighter in here, so I have to put the Street Fighter one in here. I have to, because I need a Street Fighter to be in my top of the best of the best of the arcades. So but because this is my personal list, I'm actually going to take this Street Fighter one, put it here, and move this Street Fighter one up here. And I'm actually going to put this one as number 1, and I'll tell you guys why, if I can get it at number 1. Okay, we're just gonna, there we go. So for me, my number 1 best favorite cabinet of all of them is going to be the original Street Fighter cabinet that's right there behind me. It was my first Arcade1Up videos that I've ever made, was covering that Street Fighter cabinet. Arcade1Up sent me this specific one behind me to do a review on, so it has a lot of sentimental value to me. There are other better Street Fighter cabinets that are out there, but that one's gonna always be my personal favorite. And then next up is gonna be tied with X-Men versus Street Fighter and Marvel vs. Capcom. Anything that you put Marvel vs. Capcom, any of the Capcom fighters, I'm always going to be down for. Next up, Final Fight, still hands down the best variety that you can get out of any cabinet. And then the limited edition of Marvel Superheroes is going to be there. Then after that, we have the original Marvel superheroes. We have the newest Street Fighter cabinet along with the Big Blue. And then we have the Turtles in Time version of the Turtles cabinet, NBA Jam, Golden Axe, Killer Instinct, Terminator, the Pac-Man 12-in-1, and then the Miss Pac-Man cabinet, followed by Miss Pac-Man and Galaga, X-Men, Simpsons, the Legacy edition of the Mortal Kombat cabinet, followed by the Supreme edition, Tempest, followed by Dragon's Lair. I actually think I would put Dragon's Lair above Tempest, so I'm going to do that. And I think I would actually even put, I'm going to drop Tempest down to here. I'll put Golden Tee and Big Bug Hunter above Tempest, and then we have Space Invaders, followed by the red edition of the Big Blue, the I forget which, the China Market, I think, yeah, that's the China Market NBA Jam cabinet, the original Turtles design of the cabinet, Mortal Kombat, the original Mortal Kombat one, followed by Burger Time, the sitting down version of Outrun, followed by the standing version of Ridge Racer and the standing version of Outrun, then Defender, Galaga, and that's the upgraded version of Galaga. I think that's 12-in-1 if I'm not mistaken. The Centipede 12-in-1, the Defender, or Asteroids, the Asteroids Deluxe 6-in-1 I believe, the Rampage, original Rampage cabinet, the Super Pac-Man cabinet, the original Centipede cabinet, the cabinet that I don't know what the heck it is, Frogger, the sitting down version of Star Wars, followed by the standing version of Star Wars, followed by Tron, and the limited edition Pizza Hut sweepstakes giveaway. And then lastly, we have the original Galaga, the Pac-Man 40th anniversary, the Miss Pac-Man, I guess, 40th anniversary as well, and the original Pac-Man cabinet and the original Asteroids cabinet. So, man, that was a really long video. Extremely long. My voice is gone. Like I said, I'm recovering from being sick and having the flu and everything like that. So, just quick outro really quickly. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. That link's in the description below. Also, be sure to check out some of my other Arcade1Up videos that are popping up on the screen for you guys to click on. And I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. So as always, guys, stay tuned for more. And I'll see you guys next time.